All right, guys, we got a new one for you today. Big Rig International, okay? Max Force engine. Uh, Problem is there is a misfire on a couple cylinders, I believe two. This actually, one of the subscribers, his dad's truck, he called us out for this diag. And I went ahead and tried to scan this vehicle. So in fact, let me show you. Guys, for 2024 and up, want you to increase your game, what you're doing. Guys, I want you to look at this as a way to expand and increase your revenue, man. There's different ways to capitalize on the skills you already have, the things you're learning here with us, and grow. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. I mean, I made the switch over from IT, and using my knowledge and stuff, you see how I converted it and got to where I'm at now. That's the same way you use the knowledge set that you have or the ones that you're building here with us on the channel. And now you're going to apply it to this other leg of the field. And trust me, there's a big revenue stream that's sitting there all this time untapped. Guys, think about this, watch the whole video, and check out all this stuff. Okay, right here with the Big Rig, it's the exact same things, everything I've taught you guys. The only difference is we're just going to use a different adapter to connect to the port. Right, we got these on our website, globalcommerceca.com. Guys, just to show you in better detail what this is basically your standard OBD port gets converted over to the heavy duty 9 or 6 pin connector. That's the communication line. Okay, and also we have the 24 volt to 12 volt converter. Now, that's not always necessary. Like in this case, I checked the power, and this one was just 12 volts, so I didn't need to use the converter. But there might be cases where you might need to step it down from 24 to 12 volts at that port. So you just check it as you go. And let me tell you something. These are relatively inexpensive tools that will be definitely paid for the first time you go out to check one of these vehicles. So it actually does not make sense not to have these tools, guys. I mean, you got to think about it, man. I can only give you the game. You got to figure out what to do with it at that point. I got my scanner connected up, and at this point, I can now communicate just like normal. Don't be intimidated, okay? So we're going to turn the key on, and I'm going to try to scan. All right, guys, this is, as you know from my phone, this is what I use for everything, all my diags. I always tell you guys, available on our website, globalcommerceca.com. Go ahead and get it. We got all the HD, guys. I'm telling you, we got everything right here, man. This is your one-stop shop. It's only so much I can tell you the same things over and over. So here we go. We're going to find this one is an international. It's right there. All right. I'm going to tell it OK. It's going to connect to my dongle. By the way, the version we sell comes on a 10-inch tablet, so it'll be formatted different. You'll go in and see if we can communicate with the engine computer. Let's try automatic search. It's going to scan all the different protocols on the HD for international and see if we can get communication with the engine computer. Well, all the modules on the vehicle, rather, right? Sorry for the constant beeping like that in the background, guys. What happens when the key's on this truck, it just keeps beeping like that, man. So it's going. Sometimes it takes a while. No communication with the ECM. We can see the transmission. And pretty much everything else that's essential. So that tells us right there we've got an issue either with wiring or the ECM itself. %, scan. And just to verify that our communication is good, I'm going to go ahead once we're done with the scan and enter one of the modules. I'll enter the transmission. We're at 78%. Instrument panel, BCM, chassis controller, vehicle management, and we're at 100%. All right, so let's enter the transmission. It's an Allison transmission, as you can see. And let's do an automatic search. And there it is. It found the transmission controller. And there it is. So we're communicating with the transmission. We're on the CAN bus. So that tells us that this part is good. The network is up. So we need to find out why the ECM is down. All right. Apparently they took the ECM out, which is located right there. And they took it to a shop that supposedly works on these. And they actually opened the ECM. You can even see signs where they opened it at. Let's see if I can get you in there. See the clips there at the top? Like they pried it open. That one is open over there. And now, before they dropped it off to them, the truck was starting with a misfire. Now it's not starting at all. Okay. So we're going to check for communication, powers and grounds, make sure nothing else is going on like that. All right, guys, here's the pinout. As you can see, we have 3 powers, but the big connector C1, the power, is not powered unless the ECM itself is actually on. So just keep that in mind. And here you have the actual numbers, and the ECM actually inside the connector, the numbers are printed on there. So if you zoom in and whatnot, you can actually read and see the numbers in there, so you know exactly which pin is which. All right, so the white connector, this is the SID 904, I believe, ECM. So the bottom left corner, which is pin 1, all the way to the bottom, that's our ignition on power. So if you have the connector out, you will not have power. And then we have, I'm going to show you the pin out, but it's pretty much 8 pins. Let's try to get a better view. Okay, so the bottom row there, the next row up, it's 8 pins off to the right. There's going to be another power, and on the next row, 5 pins, there's another power. But you'll see that on the pin out. And I tested here at these cables right here, and we do have all 3 powers when the ECM is even connected and ignition is turned on. So that eliminates powers and grounds. Actually, yeah, and I forgot to mention the other ground. The ground is up there at the top. I think that's pin C6 right there at the top. It'll be in the diagram. So that eliminates powers and grounds as the issue why this ECM is not communicating. All right, guys, here we are under the vehicle, and there in the corner right there, you can see that's the engine computer, and the white connector is our power, grounds, and data connectors. And in fact, it comes in on pin 61 and 62. 61 is going to be the green cable, which is our CAN high. Let's see if you can make that out. Actually, it's the yellow cable, that's CAN high, and the one next to it is green, which is CAN low, 62. And we're connected using the ultimate Canbus tester, and here we are, and we've got the ignition off. And as you can see, we're reading at, we just grabbed the ground right here. Anywhere on the frame, anywhere you can grab a ground. And this is the big advantage of the ultimate Canbus tester. You can go anywhere on the vehicle, guys. So as you can see, we've got like 1.7. Abre el switch, porfa. So we're going to turn on the ignition switch, and we should start seeing CAN communication lines. Abre el switch. So there you see it's jumping up, and we're at about 2.5 there on CAN high. As you can see, CAN high is at the top, CAN low is at the bottom. So I'm not going to try to communicate with the, since the engine computer obviously is offline, because that's why we're testing. We have no communication with the engine computer. We're going to see if we can communicate with the other devices on the network, such as the transmission. And there it is, guys. I was able to actually scan the whole Canbus network, and I could see all the devices, of course, except for the engine computer. And I entered the transmission. As you can see here, I have full communication right here under the vehicle. This is why I try to tell you guys, you gotta have the right tools to get these jobs done quickly and efficiently. You know, sometimes you can look at a signal and think like it's okay, but when you do a test like this, it eliminates all the doubt, okay? So if you haven't went up over to globalcommerceca.com and picked up your ultimate Canbus tester, you got to figure that part out too, man. If you haven't already done it, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, like and subscribe. And if you didn't know this, now you know. And knowing is half the battle. So stay tuned. There might be a part 2. We're going to go ahead and get the replacement ECM. And if you guys want to see that, stay tuned for that as well.